Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to start into a series of videos that I've been planning for a while about drone autonomous flight, because I think that's the direction that everything's going in. So when I'm talking about drone autonomous flight, I'm talking about things like Litchi, like Ground Station Pro, like Map Pilot, like Drone Deploy and Pix4D Capture. All of these apps on our phones and smart pads and everything else that we've got. Um, all these apps are designed to help you make flights autonomous to repeat certain processes. So let's take a look real quick. So today we're going to start talking about autonomous flight, and we're going to talk specifically about Litchi. Litchi has a lot of great features that allow you to reproduce and repeat results over and over again. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you want to do a time lapse of a construction site or a time lapse of traffic on a road, any kind of time lapse, you can actually set up flights that are controlled by Litchi that will repeat the same process over and over again. Point A to point B to point C and so on. And you can have Litchi make adjustments in its flight path, the camera's gimbal tilt, and also its overall heading, flight speed, etc. So there's a lot that you can do, and it's not just Litchi. There are multiple applications out there, and we're going to start talking about them all. And I think I'm going to be building a bigger full series either on Udemy or over on Teachable in the near future, because I think the big future of drone flight, quite frankly, is going to be autonomous drone flight. Now, what do I mean by that? Before we jump over to Litchi here, let's talk about it for a minute. We all know Amazon would like to start doing drone package deliveries. Now, can you picture a network operations center with a group of pilots who are all running our crazy little controllers to actually fly things to someone's home? Probably not. There's too much room for error, even if those pilots are really great drone pilots. So I think what's going to happen is more automated flight systems are going to be hitting us hard and fast over the next couple of years, where you can pre-program the same flight path over and over again, and where you can ensure that the flight elevation and the flight's tracking follows a consistent pattern that actually can be observed by the FAA and also observed by those who are doing the flights. So I think down the road, if you really want to push your own drone work, I think you need to start really paying attention to this automated flight and start incorporating it into your regular business. And now, while we're not all delivering packages for Amazon, we are regularly flying construction sites. We are regularly flying houses for realtors, for marketing purposes. People are regularly flying rooftops for solar installations and damage inspection. There are so many places where automated flight's really going to come in and help you make your job not only easier, but also incredibly consistent, where you're providing incredibly consistent results. So starting last week, I started on a new progression project just for myself, but this is going to be something that I'm using to market to local construction companies. So I set up a pre-programmed flight, and I'm going to be setting up several other ones over the next couple weeks, and we're going to be putting them together as a progression report, and you'll see those updates as they come along. So once I get some more of these going, I'll be sharing them with you. Now, for this particular progression series, I'm going to be using two tools. I'm going to be using Litchi and Ground Station Pro, and you'll see another video about Ground Station Pro very near future, promise. So But let's take a look over at Litchi here. I've got Litchi up on the screen. And so this is actually Litchi's Mission Hub. So number one, you can download Litchi for your Android or for your iOS device, and you can start doing pre-programmed flights today. It's very easy to do with Litchi. And as you get more comfortable with it, you're going to learn that Litchi is an incredibly powerful tool. Now, one of the primary things that a lot of people use Litchi for is to create pre-programmed paths, mostly waypoint paths. So one of the really powerful things about Litchi is that you can synchronize your flights, your missions between your smartphones, your tablets, and the Litchi Mission Hub if you sign up with it. And there's no extra cost to doing the Litchi Hub. So as I said, I set up some missions recently, and I'm going to go to open. And here's a list of my missions. All of these missions show up on my iPad and both my iPhones. And recently I created the Granville Improved Progression. So I want to show progress of a construction site over time. So I created this pre-programmed route, and I actually created this route on my iPad. So I did a little testing, and I actually did a couple of flights, and I found what I liked for doing this progression over time, and that's what you're seeing here. You're actually seeing the mission here. So starting point number one is right down here, and it's actually shooting up in this direction because it is shooting at my point of interest number one. So I have it looking across the construction area, and as the drone progresses, crosses the road, comes over here to number 4, it then shifts its view to waypoint number 2 and then makes its flight back, which you saw on the video here at the start of this episode. So what I'm going to be doing is probably once a day or once every other day, I'll be flying the same path. The homes in this area are coming together very rapidly, so you can actually see the progression very quickly over time. The video that was presented at the start of this segment, that video was only 3 flights, and we'll be adding to those flights. So the flight paths remain consistent, and people can see day to day what's happening, or every other day what's happening. And I'll be sure to record that and share that with you as we do this. So this is only one of the applications that Litchi offers. Litchi offers a lot more beyond the Mission Hub and beyond these waypoint missions. They have orbit missions where you can actually set an orbit point and orbit it regularly. So if you wanted to circle a cluster of new homes being developed, you could do that with Litchi. What other tools do they have on Litchi? Well, let's take a look here. So number one, of course, you can just do straight regular flight with Litchi, where you're controlling everything. Number 2, you can do your waypoints. Number 3, you can also do those pre-programmed orbit missions that you can use over and over again. And now I'm looking at the Litchi screen, so we can also do the 360-degree panoramics, which I've featured on this channel before, and I'll make sure to leave a link or put a link in the end show notes for you. And then we can also set up a particular point of focus and always have Litchi looking at that one particular point of focus while we're flying. Finally, we've also got tracking. So for all those people who are into tracking a moving person, maybe somebody on a mountain bike, or tracking a vehicle, you know, you've seen some very compelling video out there, and Litchi offers its own tracking as well. So overall, for automated flight, I regularly use Litchi. I think it's a very powerful tool, and I don't even think I've scratched the surface of everything that it can do. In my upcoming series that we're going to be doing here about autonomous flight, I will be doing more specific flights with the Litchi app, and we'll be talking about them together, and we'll work through each of these types of missions that we can do. So we'll look at more closely at the waypoints, we'll look at the orbits, we'll also take a look at using panos, and the panos can actually show off progress as well if you're shooting from the same location over and over again. And you could use a Litchi waypoint mission to get you to a point where you do shoot your 360 pano. So you can repeat things over and over again and repeat them in the same exact locations so that it's very accurate with the images or data that you're sharing with your customers. So there you go. So Over the next couple weeks, watch for this Litchi mission progression and Ground Station Pro progression continue. And I hope you enjoy it. And let me know what you think if you'd like to see some more in-depth work with Litchi, with the app directly, and maybe we can turn this into a larger class. So look forward in the very near future to starting to see the Ground Station Pro stuff. I set up actually yesterday the flight paths and the items that I want to do with Ground Station Pro. And in the case of that, I'll be doing both video and stills, and I'll explain to you why I'm doing the stills with Ground Station Pro and not with Litchi. We're mixing things up, using different tools to achieve specific results that we want to have happen over and over again. So that's why Ground Station Pro is going to be doing one thing, and the Litchi app's going to be doing a totally different thing.